Well, welcome everyone to the International Elephant Foundation's Conservation Chat. We're so excited to have you join us here today from all corners of the globe, literally, for what promises to be a very fascinating and insightful discussion about elephant conservation. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Julie Bates. I'm the Donor Relations Manager for IAF. We have some other staff members on the call with us today, including Deborah Olson, our Executive Director, Sarah Conley, our Director of Conservation, and Dr. Chase Ledoux, our Special Project Manager. Before we dive into our presentation tonight, I want to go over a few housekeeping notes with everyone, just so to make sure that we have a nice, smooth, and engaging session for everyone. So please be sure to keep your microphones off. It helps minimize background noise. We also ask that you have your cameras off because that helps save bandwidth. And we do have people logging in from all types of places that might have spotty internet connections. And just so you know, we're going to be recording this session. And also, as we go through the presentation, if you have questions for our presenter, we invite you to put those in the chat. And as we get done, then we will go through those and try to make it through all of the questions. So I guess that probably covers everything. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you back to Sarah Conley, and she's going to tell you about our presenter.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I know you're from all over the world. Today, we are joined by Dr. Farina Othman, an internationally renowned expert in Asian elephants, particularly in Malaysia. For the past decade, she has dedicated herself to shifting the paradigms of stakeholders involved in managing human-wildlife conflict in Malaysia. Dr. Farina has been an active member of the IUCN Asian Elephant Specialist Group since 2018, and in 2021, she joined the Human Wildlife Conflict Specialist Group. Currently, she is leading a team of local conservationists under the umbrella of Seratu Aatai and is a senior lecturer for the Institute of Tropical Biological and Conservation, University of Malaysia Sabah. Though her work on conservation or through her work in conservation genetics of the Bornean elephant, she's proven that the Bornean elephant is indeed genetically more unique and different from other Asian elephants. Now, the Bornean elephant is recognized as a subspecies of Asian elephant, which changes the global approach to their conservation. This is significant work. Data from her work on the movement of female elephants has led to the identification of wildlife corridors and to successfully stopping a mega infrastructure project that would cut elephant habitats. With support from the Sabah Wildlife Department and collaboration with fellow scientists and conservationists, both on the national and international level, Dr. Farina and her team's mission now is to improve oil palm landscapes, to be more friendly to elephants and other wildlife. She's got a wealth of knowledge to share, and we are so honored to have her here with us. Thank you guys so much, and welcome, Dr. Farina. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me as well. And I'm very happy that we managed to get this happen, although we are so far away in terms of time zone. Shall I share my screen now?
Yes,
My
please.
slide? Yeah. Okay. Uh, I checked the a list of people who are now with us, and I can see some familiar names and some new ones. So for those who we haven't met yet, welcome and thank you for joining me this morning from Sabah, and I guess evening and afternoon or wherever you are right now. So I am Farina Osman, and I'm the founder of Seratu Aatai. So this chat that we're having this today, it will be a bit of everything because I don't know how much you guys know about the Bornean elephant. So I try to kind of touch a little bit of, introduce them to you, and maybe we talk a bit about the challenges and what we're doing to help conserve this endemic species to the Borneo to the Borneo Island. So so where I am right now, it's will take me. Actually, I just came back from the US. I was there for 2 weeks last week. And right now I'm having a little bit of stomach bugs a little bit. So I hope my energy, you can still feel, I don't sound too shaky or things like that. So it take about, maybe almost two days to reach to Sabah, and we are in the east of Malaysia, in the island of Borneo. Um, and a lot of people, Sabah is so well known for the Mount Kinabalu. It's always magical seeing this. I've been seeing this mound for almost 20 over years now, and every time it's always feeling magical. We have a lot of people coming hiking the mountain every year, about 50,000 people at least coming every year. So it's the highest mountain in Southeast Asia. Um, and it's also popular for the biggest flowers in the world, Rafflesia. So we have several species. This is not the biggest one. This one I took this picture. I took it myself. I went to hike with my friends, and I'm not a good hiker, and I I don't really hike, but I hike for this one to see the Rafflesia. Some of the species we have even like as big as like 1 meter in diameter. The special thing is when it bloom, it doesn't bloom more than a week. So every time it bloom, everyone will go and try to go and see them. Um, and obviously, Borneo is also so popular with our different kinds of primates, right? Orangutan for sure. We have our pigtail macaque, proboscis monkey. So everyone are really thinking, Borneo is a heaven to biodiversity and also wildlife. And our small carnivores, although we have from clouded leopard to leopard cats, our civets, our sun bears, living still in our forest, um, in Sabah. But today I'm not going to talk about all these species, obviously. You are here to listen about our Bornean elephants. Uh, a lot of people call them Bornean pygmy elephants. So maybe people will come here and they expect to see our elephant as small as that one in the picture you can see there. That is actually a baby elephant, not a pygmy elephant. I remember one tourist came approached me when I was on the boat watching the elephants. He said that, okay, show me which one is the pygmy elephants. And I said that this is all Bornean elephants. We don't have any pygmy elephants. Yes, they are the smallest subspecies of Asian elephants, but they are not, like very, very small. I try to kind of educate people, create a little bit of awareness. It's very sexy, right, to have to call them pygmy elephants. Everyone, but I feel that we also have to be very careful when we portray the word pygmy, because people might think that how can people in Sabah cannot coexist with elephant when they have small elephants? But actually, our elephants are not that small. They just look, more rounded. Maybe they have shorter trunk, maybe longer hair, tail, for example. A bit of, some uh, different characteristic with the mainland Asian elephants, but they are just normal Asian elephants. So that's why I try to educate and promote that let's not use the word pygmy. We call them the Bornean elephants. So like Sarah mentioned, one of the first thing that the Bornean elephants started to get more attention from 2003, when a group of researchers was looking at the uh, are they originally from Borneo? So they were looking at the genetics of the Bornean elephants, and but at that time they were using a small genetic markers But then for our study, after that we did a follow-up study, and we used more diverse genetic markers, and our results also support the study in 2003, where we found that the Bornean elephants are unique genetically from the other Asian elephants. Um, so although they were but we also found out that the genetic diversity are very, very low. So basically, even if you try to differentiate between two individuals, it's very hard because they are all homozygous. So we believe that at some point, they are very, big genetic bottleneck that happened, something happened in Sabah at that time. There are some historical evidence saying that this might be a population that were introduced to Borneo. So the Sultan of Java at that time sent some elephants, which we know that elephants in Java have been extinct now. So the Sultan of Java sent this elephant to Sulu in Philippines. And because at that time, Sabah is actually under the jurisdiction of the Sultan of Sulu. So they send some elephants to Sabah. And when we look into their genetics, we found that the population that live in Lower Kinabatangan, they are having the highest genetic diversity. So basically, they are more like a gene bank to elephants in Sabah in Borneo. And but after that, we with more technology improvement, we did another study, genetic study, and we proved that these elephants were there since between 11 to 18,000 years ago. So whether it is introduced or whether they came from the mainland of to Sabah during the when the Sunda land was when the sea level was very low. We are actually they are there, and it is important to conserve them. So it for us here in Sabah, it doesn't matter which one is true. We have the elephants are living in this landscape. So what is important right now is try to see how we can maintain the population in Sabah. So that is one is unique thing about the Bornean elephants. And right now, so the Borneo is the third largest uh, island in the world. And we can see that our elephants, the Bornean elephants, are only found in the northern part of the island, which is only in Sabah. And even in Sabah, it's the elephants are only distributed in the east coast of Sabah. So it's the ranging distribution is extremely limited. And even that, in this landscape also, there are a lot of challenges that might, affect the survival of our elephants in terms of their genetics. We have about 1,000 elephants, wild elephants in Sabah, in these three population. So the biggest population is in central Sabah managed elephant range. And Tabin and Lower Kinabatangan, as you can see here, they are isolated. These elephants in these two populations, they cannot meet each other. So there is no gene flow. So elephants, they can't, I mean, now we're having problems with genetic diversity. If we keep this longer, this situation, then I think it will affect more and more the genetic diversity in the long term. Another thing what I feel when people ask me what is unique about the Bornean elephants was their kind of their behavior. So when I first started working with the elephants in 2005, I started following the female groups because we want to understand how the strategy of the female group. As we know, female groups, they are, for them, the most important thing is safety and also the food, the quality of the food, right? So we started by just looking to understand where is the most important area for the female group. So I never seen at that time. A lot of people say that our elephants are gentle giant. So I said, okay, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I never seen one, so we were in the forest at that time, trying to go out to the boat at the river, in the river. So on the way out, we met this group of female elephants feeding along the river. So my colleagues, my teammates who have more experience than me working with these elephants were said, Farina, calm down, just don't feel nervous. Just make sure you try to breathe in and breathe out. I trust them. I don't know if I trust myself at that time, but I trust them. So we keep walking, and then this female elephant, her name is Ford, so she keep approaching us as well. So she looks very curious, and at some point, we have my teammates told me that now let's lay down. I mean, not lay down. Stay down a little bit. Give these elephants sometimes. So that's, I think that this is the time when they took this picture, and I was trying not to make eye contact with them. She was scanning on me. She was assessing me whether I am a threat, whether I am enemy. And then a few seconds later, she starts to flipping her ears back. So then I understand that, okay, there is a distance that, if we respect the distance, they are they are not, they will show signs for me whether they are comfortable or not. So I feel that we misunderstood a lot of the behavior of the Bornean elephants. And I think that there are still a lot of respect between people and elephants. They don't really see us yet as a threat to them. Um, and another sign that the female will show that they are not happy with our presence is that whenever we are observing them, there is always one female elephant, usually young subadults, that will be the guardian of the group. The others were showing, no signs. They are so comfortable, continuing what they're doing. But there will be always one female elephant that will be more curious and more, protective. And if we don't try to move when she gives us a lot of warning, what she will do next is she will just turn back she will just turn back toward us, and she will just start kicking us from the back. So these are some of the signs that I learned whether they are, like they had enough with us, they telling us enough warnings to say that I'm not happy, just leave us alone. Um, so for me, that is very special because when I went to India last time to Muduk Malai, I was trying to get a picture of a female elephant and a calf uh, crossing a road in Muduk Malai, and my friends at that time she already holding my hands, and we were so far away from the elephant. And I said, "Why do you have to do that?" And she said that these elephants will come and kind of charge you straight away, and that is so different from what we've seen in Bornean elephant. So I'm going to take you to Lower Kinabatangan. This is the landscape that I work since 2000 since the beginning. So for me, Lower Kinabatangan is very, very special. Lower Kinabatangan River is the longest river in Sabah. It's about 560 kilometer long, and is the heart for everything in Sabah. So this is the current landscape in Lower Kinabatangan. It's a mix of forest reserve and wildlife sanctuary. So actually, Lower Kinabatangan itself is Lower Kinabatangan Wildlife Sanctuary itself is a corridor uh, that are protected to try to connect the forest reserve, the small forest reserve that we have along this river. I like the most during sunset and sunrise. Um, People come here just to see. There are about 150 elephants living in this landscape. Um, and then what is most special is that people don't have to go far to see them. They just go on a boat and then they can observe this elephant that comes to the river, to the small tributaries. They need to cross from one area to another area, and this is the best time for me to identify which uh, which animal belong to which group. So this is when they cross the river. This is the best time for me to ID them and to count how many elephants that are there. This is also very one of the challenges for the elephants, because when there are too many tourist boats and who doesn't really respect the distance, so it will be tricky for the elephants to cross even the small tributaries. The mom will help to support the smaller elephants. We do have cases where we found baby elephants drown, but it's very rare. But that can happen from time to time as well. And recently, we have one very unique case where a crocodile tried to pull a juvenile elephant to try to eat them. So that's very brave, very bold action by the crocodile, but he didn't manage to do it. There is no luck yet for this crocodile for now. The people that live along this river is the river people, or we call sungai people. They are their main economic activities. They depend a lot on the river for fish. They are fishermen, and they get all these proteins, especially from prawns and fish and things like that, and they sell it as well to the market. And I remember as well at the beginning, it's not very difficult for me when I go to do my field work, because whenever I come back, I just bring together with my team, we just bring our fish net, and then we'll just go and fish a little bit, and so we don't have to bring any canned food and things like that. So that picture with a lot of prawn over there was taken in 2007, and that was the last time I saw something like this that we got. You don't even have to do anything. Sometimes you just use your hand to grab them, because they keep jumping in. Yeah, it was especially after the flood receding, the water level go a little bit lower, then there will be more prawns that we can catch. um but that's happened right now because there are more and more we have less and less fish, for example, and prawns, because there are more pollution coming from these oil palms. So some of the area in Lower Kinabatangan right now, between the forest block, we there is already a lot of small holders lands or big plantations. So it's becoming, this floodplain have been converted. There are about 80 to 90%, I mean, about 80% of the landscape now have been converted to palm oil. And if you go, this is a video. Let's see if I can play them. Um, when you are along the river, you might see a nice forest, but actually behind this forest, there are already a lot of changes to the landscape. So sometimes you walk around 200, 300 meters from the river, and you will see the landscape change significantly, change dramatically. So sometimes the elephants and other wildlife, they have no choice but to use this landscape. I mean the oil palm landscape. Um, so the floodplain of Kinabatangan, now that the area, what we protected for the area are mostly quite swampy. So when we have major flooding, elephants having a lot of difficulties to move around. So most of the protected area will be flooded. Elephant do love water, but I don't think they like to spend a lot of time in water. As you can see in this picture, they all pull their kind of curl their tail, and then they will put their trunk in their mouth, for example. So it is very difficult for them to, if, for example, there are major flooding that happen. So that's why most of the higher ground are in the plantation as well. So that is one of the reason why they have to use this landscape. Another reason why they have to move and use more regularly the landscape is because the feeding opportunity. So after 25 years, the oil palm tree is no longer economically viable for us to maintain. It's hard to harvest the fruit because it's very tall. It doesn't produce more, fruits as it should. So they will push the trees and they will cut the trees into smaller pieces. And when it does, like that, you can see. Later, I'll show you the middle part of this trunk is very sugary, and it's, as you can see, it's massive. Like they don't really have to do anything. It's like a food provided to them. It's just, they just have to go and find the best part that they like and eat. Um so it's a very good opportunity, I mean, feeding opportunity for them. And we can see as well that in terms of behavior, they are also adapting. So you can see this one young sub-adult. He's not sure whether to go, and he can sense that there are fresh foods there, but he wasn't very sure. So and then suddenly you have another bull elephant started to approach it, and as if he's telling the other it's okay, it's fine. And then the others started to come out as well and start to eat. As you can see in this video, there is this workers, sorry, it's too loud. So there is this worker working, pushing the trees, cut it in a small pieces. Um, but the elephant and allow the elephants to come. For me, if we want to kind of define coexistence. I mean, for me personally, this is an example of coexistence where the driver knows that if the elephants come, and if he doesn't put the part of the tree that elephant like to eat on the top, the elephant will start making a mess and will try to dig and making a mess. So what he did, he just when he cut, he put the nicest part on the top of this bun. So elephants can come and eat it, and yeah, there is no kind of competition. There is no conflict here. But conflict will happen in the next 2 or 3 months when they started to plant a new trees, a smaller trees, because elephant can come and either push or pull the middle part of these trees. That's when the conflict will happen. So this is my auntie. She is a cook. So this is the part because I love this, what we call umbut kelapa. So it's a coconut shoots. Yeah, shoots, if I can translate that. It's very, very nice. Very, how do we say this? It's sweet, but also very soft. And the way we cook it is with the using the coconut milk. And because it's so easy to get it, we usually cook this during wedding. Because for our wedding in our culture, we call so many people. I love it. So I'm pretty sure, the elephants also. I can understand why elephant love it as well. So coming back to Kinabatangan, from the movement of elephants, again, we managed to identify some bottlenecks to their movement in this landscape, in the forest. So in 2012, when we interview people who work with elephants for more than 10 years, we realized that so all this area in green color are protected area. Um, the darker green is the forest reserve, and the lighter green is from the wildlife sanctuary. You can see that there are a lot of very narrow spaces for elephants. The one that with number 1 to 20. So imagine that you have a lot of space. Suddenly, these elephants are squeezed to go to very small, narrow route for them to move. So it will take them a lot of time to decide whether to go. So they will spend more and more time in that area. And the more time they spend, the higher chances for conflicts to happen. And the one that is the most crucial is this area where you can see the village Sukau here, where you can see number 9 to number 14. So that is the most crucial area. That is the hardest one, the most difficult one for the elephants to pass through, because the sanctuary lot 3 is very small, and then you have quite a big village over there. So this is the most crucial area. And we call it elephant since 2008. We realized more and more. We started with coloring only females at the beginning, and for females, this is a mix of male and females actually. This data is not only from one individuals. I think this one is from at least 10 to 11 individuals. So we realized that over the years, we can see that the elephants are using more and more the oil palm landscape, especially in the area where we found the one that I explained to you is the most difficult one. Now they're finding a new strategy how to move from this area to the next forest. And most of the elephants that spending more time in the plantation is the male elephants. So right now we have to move from just looking at the protected area now to outside protected area. How can we make the area outside the forest area to be more friendly with the presence of elephants? And again, with the movement, we also identify the hotspots outside the protected area, and the one that you see, the pinky, excuse me. So these are some of the hotspots. So this hotspot is not something habitats that are crucial, but it's more there are a lot of barrier for elephants to move. So it's not because there are a lot of like grasses that elephants like feeding area, but it's more like there are more trenches and more electric fences, or that make elephants uh, spend more time over there. So now we have to think how we can improve this uh, connectivity to make sure that elephants can at least have some space to move downriver and upriver. And we know, like I just mentioned, that male elephants are the one who spend more time regularly in the plantation. So this is Gading, one of the dominant elephants. We call it him at least 3 times, but at the end we give up because he always know how to uh, to remove the collar. At some point, I remember the second collar, we found the unit, the receiver under a tree, and we can see that he was doing like how do you say this? On with the tree, he just rubbing hit the belt. So we found the unit under the tree. So he is an expert how to survive in this landscape. Um, and again, we thought at the beginning only female that um, passing information and knowledge. So in this picture is a newly planted area. You can see already that they are trying making some sort of planning, uh, really communicating with each other. You can see that more or less they are, same body size, and if you look at the body condition as well, it's quite good. Our elephants are not starving. It's just their behavior, high risk, high gain. I don't care about the risk as long as I can feed myself. So they are waiting for the other elephants to come before, they all together go to the other area to feed. So you can see there are a lot of information sharing over there. And it's very important to understand who is in this group that make decision, who give the instruction, and maybe from there we will be able to see whether we can kind of work with the one that lead this group, and then hopefully that will try to understand a little bit of how elephants make decisions, and so that we can reduce the conflicts. This is another example. So this is Achok. Before I go to Achok, another one, I really want you to pay your attention to a sound that he will make. It's very, very soft, and let me know if you can detect the sound. Okay, can you hear that very soft whistle that he made? So yeah, so Acho is another one of the very confident and um male elephants that we followed in this landscape. And then he is also like the females. He communicate whether he's happy or not happy with our presence. So the whistle that he made, we found out there are two kind of occasion where he always do this whistle. Is first when he's ready to when he's with a female group trying to check whether females are in oestrus ready, or just when he's with when he see people, and he will just trying to say that I can see you, I know that you are there, so be careful. So it's one of the thing that I always use whenever I'm with the female groups in the forest, to know whether there is a bull or not. So it's very one of the, I think, one of the way these elephants communicate with people. If I can go, okay. And the male elephants, they learn as well how to adapt, right? We saw this is, I'm pretty lucky at this point. I was following this is Sandy. So he is at that time he was still very, very young. Again, this was taken in early days when I first started working with them. So he touched the electric fence and he got already some shocked from there from his trunk. And he knows that if he not careful enough, he will do the same mistakes again. So he then started to pull his trunk on the tusk, and to avoid touching again the electric fence. And he do it, and all the movement that he do to pass this electric fence is very slow, very controlled movement. And but he knows how to do it. He knows the trick. He knows where is the area where he can pass without any problems. So they learn and they make decision. However, his friends doesn't have yet that skills and knowledge, and Sandy there waiting patiently for his friends to also do what he's doing. He showed it already, but unfortunately the other elephants have not yet reached to acquire the skills, but someday he will. So this is how some of the strategies that elephants do, right? And this is, we can see everywhere in Asia, and that they learn. But a lot of people, especially people who are like the plantation people, the community, they don't understand this. They don't understand that elephants are very fast learner, and therefore we have to be flexible of the mitigation, the way we manage them. Another thing you can see as well, that they don't have to do any chaos if we understand, if we respect the distance. They in this picture, this elephant moved from one door to another door without even have to touch or break anything. Um, but if we provoke them, then that will change. The elephant will be more aggressive. The elephant will start to see us as threats and as enemies. So that's why it's very important. So this is a group of elephant control unit in the plantations. So they already call themselves as the elephant herder. They they are trying to divert the elephants peacefully towards back to the forest. And we can see that the elephants are not really how do I say that, react aggressively towards these elephants. They understands that, well, I wouldn't say this on behalf of elephant, but from the way they're doing, if we understand their needs and we respect the distance, there is a way to share the landscape with the elephants. Because if we try to exclude them, then we will never be creative enough. We are or willing enough to tolerate the presence. And elephants have no options. This is the message that we are trying to deliver to our stakeholders in the palm oil industry. And because if we another example, so the control unit that you saw before is a unit that is already trained on elephant behavior, but we have different plantation who has not yet understands how to deal with elephant. So this is another example where we see, if you keep provoking the elephant, you are scared of their presence, right? You don't understand how to react. Then actually we are promoting the elephants to be more kind of getting used to us, to our presence. So now this elephant might see us, that we will not do any harm to him. He can challenge us. Um, so actually, if something happened, if these people they fell down or something, elephant will come and get them. So and yelling and shouting is not really helpful in this case. So maybe we can laugh. I mean, these people who took this video can laugh, but we know at some point if we keep doing this, uh, and elephants will change their behavior. So we can see already that this elephant is actually quite anxious, but not like aggressive or too agitated. So and living in this landscape is not also it's challenging for the little ones. So we saw Naji, uh, he got separated from his group, um, and at that time he was still quite okay. So we left him, I mean, try kind of monitoring him in a few days. Uh, Hopefully that the group will come back to get him back. But after 2 days, we can see that Naji started to become very dehydrated. So we have to bring him to look after him. So we kind of help this is a work by together with the plantation, with the Melangking oil palm plantation. We fed Naji, um, and this is Putut, a female elephant that we know she's very, very highly experienced. So there were a few times where we saw that juveniles will go to Putut, try to get her to calm them down. She has no milk, she can't nurse, I mean, but they will come and try to suckle from her, from her breast to just calm down. So she's very experienced female elephant, so we were very happy to see her, and we want to try to introduce Naji to Putut. So together with a wildlife rescue unit from Sabah Wildlife Department and the plantation and other NGOs, we try to bring Naji back to the group, but Naji keep coming back to us, and then a few sub-adults males actually is the one who try to kick Naji out, so they won't accept Naji, so we have to bring him back to yeah, not bring him back. And the plantation is kind enough to build a very simple, very quick store for Naji. And the idea is to try to introduce Naji softly. So wild elephants will come, check on him, get Naji to be familiar with wild elephants. Um, but then Naji was super scared. He always, maybe they were trying to check on Naji present, but Naji will go away. But that was the idea, is to try to see whether we can introduce Naji like this. Um, Unfortunately, there was some not politics, some um, issues between Sabah Wildlife Department and this plantation. Sabah Wildlife Department has to take Naji with them, and unfortunately, Naji died because EHV after a few months in the facilities. So seeing this for several years, I felt that the way we deal with human elephant conflict in Sabah, we still in this mindset that it is about elephants. Actually, the more I see the communication between stakeholders, communities, plantations, government agencies, I feel that the values are different for each of the stakeholders. So how can we bring together? We want the best for elephants. I can see that. We understand that elephants are losing their habitats. They need to move. There is one thing that I can see in the community in Sabah, but how we want to approach this issue is different from each other. So Seratu Aatai was founded in 2018 because we understand that only people that can help making this issue, we can reduce this issue. Um, and we have to accept that elephants are using more and more land outside the protected area. We can't confine elephants only in the protected area. So we want to get people to have the skills, have the knowledge, the confidence, so they understand the elephant is not always want to go and attack them and things like that. So we want to equip our stakeholders. Currently, we have three pillars. We have research. We have working with the communities and our education. And we started to also do a little bit on ex situ conservation, but not entirely. We just mostly facilitate to improve the welfare of elephants in captivity. So every time people see me, they always feel that, oh, Farina, she's only, talking elephants language. She's about elephant, 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 not about us. So what we then figure out that maybe having a messenger in each of the community people from their own from the members of the community itself will be a good messenger. So we train groups of community honorary wildlife warden. So we are very thankful for, for example, uh, donors like Oregon Zoo and things like that, who understands that there is a need to train these people. So right now we have almost maybe around 60 people in about 7 or 6 communities along, not along Lower Kinabatangan, but in Kinabatangan landscape. So it's a larger landscape. So we train them on elephant behavior. We train them on how to understand the entering point, the exit point in their own community, and they will be like the front liner. So they will be the one who will go and try to divert these elephants safely and peacefully towards the direction that the elephants that will avoid sensitive area. Um, And at the same time, they are not they we also try to equip them with skills to do citizen science, for example. So we want to make sure that we build the capacity. Most of these community members, their education background is I mean, they don't have a lot of opportunity to go and do higher education, maybe because of family needs and things like that. So we want to be able to equip them with all this knowledge and skills so that hopefully it will open more opportunity for them to work in biodiversity conservation with other organizations as well. So we have several CHWW member who has now worked with other organizations, NGO organization, because they have experience with us in this program. Um, and so one of the achievement that this CHWW worked before, you can see they are all young people from the community, and it's so hard actually to speak to the older folks. Uh, but after several years of this program, right now for Sukal, for example, older folks, older generations, they feel that if the younger generation can take this opportunity, they must support as well. So for the first time, there is a committee formed by the community themselves, saying that we will support this CHWW team, and because these are and to support, and also they want to join as well the initiative, the efforts. So they create this committee, and they are the one who kind of plan where to put the community electric fence, for example. So right now there is a synergy between the young generation and older generation. Obviously, the older generation are not very energetic enough, but they have a lot of knowledge that they can pass to the young generation. So I feel so happy that now we can already sit down and talk to them about, like, okay, how we can accept elephant as part of the landscape. So there is a little bit of acceptance, and the language that they use as well. So for example, before this, when we do elephant control, we always say halau. Halau mean like forcing the elephants to get out from the area, but now they use like earring, mean that you divert the elephants. So I feel that there is like a more positive language that people use towards the elephant. So slowly we are, changing the perception of the community. And yeah, for the first time as well, we started to have integrated electric fence. So instead of each of the community members put the electric fence in their own small holder plot, now they have one that we all then can look after maintain the electric fence together, rather than each of them have to put their resources. So now everyone will share resources to have just one very good and highly maintained electric fence that can that will ensure the effectiveness of the electric fence. And now the groups are going everywhere, sharing their experience, working with their community. So this is one of the event that they went in Kuching. It's an international event where they share like why they want to do this for their community and for the elephants. So some of them, this is the first time that they go out from Sabah, and all of them say that we can't speak English, we can't speak English, and they need to understand that language never a barrier if you are passionate enough to share your experience, and hopefully this will inspire more youth out there. So another thing that I was talking about, the connectivity, this area, if you go now, will be more, the trees will be higher enough. So for palm oil industry, there are certain area in their plantations that they must protect. So for example, along the small tributaries or small stream, they need to provide like some distances along this as a buffer. So we are thinking like how can we connect all this area that the industry must protect already, and maybe then get them to also think about something that outside the area. So you have all this area that with smaller trees. Here is all the operation area, which they are super scared, right? Like I mean, their role is to produce fruits every month. So that's how they are being assess their performance. But if elephants come and push and damage the trees, so that they it might think that why should I conserve elephants, right? So we don't want them to give up their lands. So we have to make sure that we find a way how we can ensure that they can still do what they need to do as a grower, but at the same time how we can accommodate the needs of elephants. So we started with one plantations in 2017. However, because this plantation is in the middle of all the plantations, so we need to get their neighbors to have the same buy-in. So last year we came up with the idea of creating a consortium called Maximus Muhibah. So in this picture, it's actually representative from 7 plantations and from Sabah Wildlife Department and the district office. We want to see what do they think about sharing the risk together rather than everyone, like I said, working on their own. Can we share the risk in whatever risk? Maybe corridor is one way, or maybe having certain area where we agree that this elephant can use for certain times, and having a group of elephant control unit that understands how to deal with elephants. So instead of doing on your own, can we do it together right now? So most of the people on the ground, they understands this, and we do training with their workers, with their supervisors, because sometimes you have the people on the top management who are super committed to do sustainability, to do conservation, but you don't know people on the ground. Because they are the one who always see elephants. It is the issue of safety for them. So we always try to go and see whether we can support, whether we can, share with them some knowledge and skill about how to understand simple elephant behavior, for example. So hopefully it will avoid incidents and make them more confident when they see the elephants. And actually, I don't know if you guys are aware about a lot of campaign to stop palm oil. For us in Malaysia, to be honest, this industry is contributing a lot to our economic development, right? That our health system, our education depends on the tax paid by the industry. So if we ban these crops and somehow these people will plant another thing, right? So there is no point of banning, but how can we make sure that they can produce sustainable palm oil? And when I speak about sustainable palm oil, it's not only about wildlife, it's about other things as well. So we have to promote the sustainable palm oil rather than try to ban this crop. I what I learned working with them for so many years is that, to be honest, in terms of like the yield that produce the oil that produce from palm oil, it using a smaller plot of land, we produce more in terms of yield. So we don't need actually to have a lot of land to produce oil, but then we have to make sure that in terms of like deforestation. And I think in Malaysia right now, our government is um, very strong about no deforestation. But we have to make sure that other countries that started to have palm oil industry in their country will also respect this. So we must really looking for to push for sustainable palm oil. So a little bit on the captive elephant management plan. So this is the first one that we have for Sabah. This is one of the action that we managed to fulfill in for our action plan. It's a group. This is the pictures here is from the technical working group. We have other so many experts from different organization. We have zoos, we have academic, we have research institution, we have people in the tourism industry, to come up with this management plan. The idea is to try to improve the facilities that we have in Sabah. We know that we can't avoid from having elephants. So remember Naji and things, and then we have maybe injured elephants. We have to bring them, but right now most of our facilities are not yet ready. To ensure the welfare. So, this captive elephant management, we hope it will guide us on how to improve the facilities, making sure that the welfare of the keepers and elephants are taken care of. So this is one of the XC2 conservation that Seratu Aatai we kind of facilitate, and it was launched last year. As you can see here, it's Dr. Sharon from Oregon Zoo. She is one of and that is Dr. Calvin. So they are one of the main supporters, or people who help us to come up with this captive elephant management plan. And we started to have our keepers learning about protected contact, for example, because we know that at some point, maybe this will be a better way. It's a long process, because again, our facilities are not yet ready to kind of promote this, kind of training. But slowly, hopefully, we are preparing the people and elephants for this approach. And also, there are a lot of supports to look into AEHV facilities, labs, trying to build the capacity of our researchers to better understand and hopefully prevent EHV. And again, all of these are still a long way to go, but we are building right now the basic kind of baseline to hopefully we will be able to achieve this and learn more about these issues for our baby elephants. Another thing that is very dear to our project, to Seratu Aatai, is this livelihood insurance from elephant, or we call it life. So it's a work that it's a collaboration with several other organizations. So we know now that human elephant conflicts, if we expect people on the ground to be able to accept elephants to live, to share the landscape, we have to think about the cost. It is not easy to live, with the damages for each of the smallholders. Each of the trees is super important for them, for their livelihood. So we must think about the financial. How do we help them to protect them from this risk, financial? So insurance will be one of it, and we are actually started this project since 2020. We need a lot of data. At the beginning, we don't get any support from the Malaysian government, and I'm very happy to share with you that starting from this year, the government of Malaysia has already put a lot of focus on this initiative, and hopefully at some point by the end of this year, we'll get some products. So they really want for us to come up with proposals, so that we can look into this potential of having insurance instead of compensation for our smallholders, to help them protect from this risk. Yeah, so that is more or less my sharing for today. Again, conservation is not always a direct route pathway. You come up with one idea, you have to speak with everyone, get their buy-in. I learned the most important thing is to always be transparent and always keep the right intention. whatever it is about helping the elephant. So you have to put yourself always in the shoes of other people who, always face this issue instead of trying to push them to accept the idea. So that is the trick, the most challenging part. But I'm still hopeful, with more younger people in the industry, palm oil industry, for example, in the community, who understands that this is the only way to live, with elephants. And hopefully slowly we will build a community that is resilient enough to accept the presence of elephants. So thank you for listening and happy to answer any questions. And thanks, Sarah.
Thank you. That was fantastic. And I know we learned a lot and there's some questions in the chat. So if you don't mind, I will go through some. So the first one we got, do you have any idea or theory as to why the Bornean elephants evolved to have shorter trunks and longer tails?
I think that is more, thank you for the question. I think that is actually more like an island kind of effect. We can see a lot of animals that live on island, they become smaller. I think maybe because of the resources that maybe less. But it's not significant that it's small, that it's so significant. They can still reach out to, things on the trees, for example. So yeah, so I think it's because of the island effect, that they have less resources and they have to become like smaller. Our elephants, they are more rounded, kind of. That's why you see them smaller. But if you measure their height, we can still get like 10 feet, elephants with like 10 feet. So they are quite big still.
Absolutely. There's still big girls and big boys that can create a
Yeah.
lot of damage. Um, so another question from a fellow Malaysian who's currently at the San Diego Zoo, asking if there have been genetic studies done on these populations and what the diversity stats are like. I know you covered that, but can you give us a reminder?
Yeah. So yes, there are several genetic studies by several groups. Um, at the beginning, we look at the genetic diversity, and then after that, we try to look at the origin of these elephants, and we must then we explore that we need to have like a specific markers, genetic markers for the Bornean elephants, because at the beginning we were using the African elephants and the other Asian elephants. But then now we have our own genetic markers. So yeah, there are a lot of kind of studies, but everything agree that we have very, very low genetic diversity. I can also point to you, share with you some papers. But if you Google genetic study Bornean elephants, you will find all the studies and papers that we publish already. So if I can just say that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. Um, kind of dovetailing with that, someone's
Hmm.
asking, so they are a recognized subspecies. Does that mean they can still breed with other kinds of Asian elephants?
Right. So I think right now, I know for some facilities that have our elephants, they stopped doing that since we got the subspecies um what do you call this, recognition. So I think one of my colleague here, I think Dr. Sharon is here. Maybe Sharon, if you want to share on the chat as well about that. But we don't have a lot of Bornean elephants outside. But in Sabah, obviously we don't have any Asian elephants. But yes, I think for facilities that recognize that have Bornean elephant, they stop doing this.
Absolutely. You got to preserve the genetics of the species.
Mhm.
Um, so we have some people from all over the world, and they're familiar with the beehive fences and the alternative crops that are used in places like Kenya to prevent
Mhm.
conflict. Is that something that might work in Sabah?
Yeah, thank you so much. I also get a lot of questions like this. To be honest, beehive fences we tried, but our bees are not the most the most strongest bees. Our elephants, they are not scared of bees. And then we have tried to do beehive. We have what we call as stingless bees. So they produce nice honey, but they don't sting. And our community as well, because we have other issues like weather, so we have a lot of rain. So most of the time it affects the bees. And so we don't have first the right species like the African one. And we have issues with weather. Then we have issues with some bear who will come and eat the honey. So there are a lot of in our community we don't really use much honey in our daily use, so kind of in terms of like markets. So yes, we tried, but it's not the best. And for Seratu Aatai, I believe mitigation is good, but we can't stop elephants. We have to work with people, try to reduce the human conflicts, in human elephant conflicts. So that's I guess the trajectory, the direction that Seratu Aatai is focusing on. We can put a lot of people so frustrated with electric fence, with barriers, because they are not flexible. They thought there is one silver bullet solutions, which I keep telling them, no, you can't, because elephant learn and they make decision and they teach each other. So that's why it's very important for us to understand better elephant behavior and try to also work on try to bring the values of different stakeholders together. So that's where we're going for Seratu Atai.
That's exactly right. You always have to stay one step ahead of these elephants because they're so
Yeah.
smart. So it's much better to have your approach. Um, Speaking of some things that you were talking about with the older oil palm plantations, and the elephants eating the older trees, do you think that could be one of the solutions for elephants, and what kind of participation with the farmers can you get from that?
Um, can you read again the question? Sorry, Sarah.
No worries. So the person in the chat was asking about the approach to satisfy both human and elephant needs.
Okay.
So the older oil palm plantations with the older
Mm-hmm.
trees that you were
Okay.
showing,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and the plantation owners sort of leaving the tree trunks there for the elephants to eat. Is
Yeah.
that one of the solutions that you think might work?
Okay, can I just answer that? So first of all, we don't know whether we want elephants to spend a lot of time in this landscape because, to be honest, eating trees that have been sprayed with fertilizer herbicides for 25 years, we don't know the effect long term to the elephant. So we still, as much as we want, we want to get them to go to spend also time outside the plantations. Um, but again, we can't stop the elephants, and the it is the chipping. It's not something that the plantation provide for the elephant. That is part of the process of planting new trees. So, but it is massive operation because now like with one of the plantation that I'm working is 8,000 hectare. So the process of replanting will take at least 10 years. So, what we can do is like, can we try to design how they do the replanting, helping the elephant avoiding sensitive area like the newly planted area. But it's depend also, it's very complicated process. It depends on how much money they have to do replanting because it's a very expensive operations, and they also needs to make sure that they still have trees that produce the fruits while waiting for the smaller trees to grow a little bit before they produce things. So it is complicated kind of issue, but I don't know if I answered that questions.
You
But
did.
that strategy to have elephants when they are going to the older trees, they don't do much damages. It's more like a providing shades for them rather than food. So their movement is really following this planting, the chipping operation. So yeah. I answered
Interesting.
the question, Sarah?
You did. That was great. I
Yeah,
think that
thank you.
covers, like all these questions, it's nuanced, it's complicated.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so got one last question in the chat asking about your thoughts about uh, if there's tourism in the area and maybe could ecotourism affect conservation actions in the region?
In Kinabatangan, they are already very. I mean, Lower Kinabatangan is very depend on ecotourism already. But not necessarily the community. It's mostly, like resorts from outside. They come and do business over there. Um, yeah, so I'm not sure to be on. I mean, most of the local community, they will get job opportunities in the resorts and things like that. Um, yeah, so it is already heavily dependent on ecotourism for Lower Kinabatangan, and I think that is one of the reason why elephants in Kinabatangan are still doing very well. People understands that, and but yeah, we just have to make sure that it's done, you know, kind of win-win situation for elephants and for people. Right now, I feel that the pressure for elephants are everywhere. When they are by the riverbank, there are so many boats, so many, tourists. But when they are in the plantation, people wants to push them out. So I think elephants in Lower Kinabatangan are so confused. So how do we how do we bring this together?
Absolutely. That's complicated, but it's interesting what you say about how having the tourism there helps keep the elephants there,
Mm,
because it gives people a reason to preserve them. So there's like everything, there's lots of nuance with all of these different things.
mm-hmm.
But I think that covers all of our questions in the chat. So I'm going to turn it over to Julie, but I want to quickly say thank you. This was fantastic. We all learned so much, and there was so much great information in your videos. I love watching all the elephants do their behaviors and stuff. Fantastic. Julie, go ahead and take it away.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Farina, for your wonderful presentation. I want to invite everybody on the call to go ahead and turn your cameras on. Let's give Dr. Farina a really big round of applause. Just so interesting. I swear every time I hear something new, just amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you.